We continue now with this week's installment of Sun Devil Extra from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network. I'm Tim Healey, the radio play-by-play voice of the Sun Devils, and your host for our show. Glad you joined us this week. As we mentioned at the top of our broadcast, Arizona State's NIL efforts will be the primary topic of conversation on this week's show. For the past 2.5 years, the letters NIL have become three of the most important and powerful letters in today's intercollegiate athletics landscape, as student athletes nationwide are now able to monetize and profit from their own name, image, and likeness. With Arizona State headed to the Big 12 Conference 1 year from now, the Sun Devils' NIL initiatives will be critical in helping ASU's athletic teams achieve success on the field in the field of play over the next few years. Joining us this week to talk about NIL at ASU is a good friend who happens to be a 1987 graduate of Arizona State University, whose dad played on ASU's first ever College World Series baseball team back in 1964. For the last 7 years, she has served on the executive board of the Sun Devil Club, and she currently has the distinction of being the first woman ever elected president of the executive board of the Sun Devil Club. It is a pleasure to welcome my good friend Chris Michaels to the show. Chris, great to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks, Tim, for having me.
To say the least, this is a different day and age in the realm of intercollegiate athletics for sure. As a lifelong college sports fan yourself, just begin by giving us your overview of this name, image, and likeness era that we now find ourselves in.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, but it's where we're at right now. So student athletes are now able to profit and monetize off their name, image, and likeness. And we're trying to help them do that the best we can at Arizona State University.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there, I know I've heard it myself, a lot of them who grumble and say, let's go back to the good old days, when it was truly amateur sports and whatnot, maybe fans who want things to go back the way they used to be, but that's not going to happen. Name, image, and likeness is here to stay, is it not?
It is here to stay, and it's kind of like anything in the world, right? As you listen to your parents and they said, oh, it was so much different when I grew up, and I want it to go back to like this, and kids didn't do this, and kids didn't do that. Well, we're evolving, and college sports has evolved, and name, image, and likeness is here to stay. I, for one, taking it as a positive because I feel like I can help have an impact in helping Arizona State athletics be successful throughout all sports and throughout, especially football.
And that's a feeling that I think everyone can have that contributes to NIL, isn't it?
It is. We can all make a difference. And it doesn't have to just to be the big donors. What you may have noticed in the past, people felt like, oh, if I don't have millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, I can't have an impact. Everyone can have an impact with NIL. And people giving as little as $10 a month or a one-time donation, one of the advantages Arizona State has is our scale. We have 605,000 alumni, and that doesn't include all the passionate fans that are here in the Valley that have grown up with Arizona State athletics. And, you get 2,000 people giving $42 a month, that's $1 million a year. So everyone can have an impact, and that's one of the things that I really like. We can all make a difference.
Now, where, in your opinion, does Arizona State stand right now in terms of its name, image, and likeness opportunities for Sun Devil student athletes in terms of how it stacks up against what we might see a year from now in the Big 12 Conference?
Well, to be honest, we started a little late, but a group, myself and 4 other people, started this initiative about a year ago. And I would say this year we're going to be middle of the pack for the Big 12. So we're making significant impacts, but I know we can do a lot better. So there's a lot of things that we're working on, not only with big donors, the monthly donations, but also some reoccurring revenue. So this is going to be sustainable. We understand we can't keep going after the big guys every year. So we're working on all kinds of things to make this sustainable, and we can have an impact.
Now, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, you and your husband, Chuck, hosted a significant and successful private fundraising event at your home, an event that helped secure commitments, as I understand, totaling $1 million for the Sun Angel Collective's $1 million match campaign. Tell us about that evening and exactly what the $1 million match campaign entails.
Yes, so what we did is we had an event at our house, which we actually were able to raise over $1 million, a significant amount. And what we've done is we've taken a portion of that, $1 million, to match with the community to activate the Valley, which is going into effect until the spring game. It's people that we've been working on the last year that are really passionate about ASU athletics. And we're really this was a great event, and it's a strong indication that we have the support in the Valley that we need to take our programs where they need to go.
Mm-hmm. Now, I understand that Sun Devil football coach Kenny Dillingham made a presentation at your event, and tell us a little bit about what he had to say and the benefit it is for ASU's NIL efforts to have a young, energetic head coach as the face of your efforts to get NIL going here.
First, must I say, I love Kenny Dillingham. He's the right guy to be leading our program. Coach Dillingham gets it. He understands that name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal are part of our life today. So he's embracing it. And he has a really good strategy. His strategy is we're not going to be in bidding wars for these student athletes. We're going to be competitive, but we're going to be able to offer them other things. And living in the valleys, being part of the Arizona State community, the education that our school now offers, things like the Barrett's College, all of those things. We can have an impact. The kids can be successful here, and they can go to the next level, and we can sustain this.
And that was the gist of his presentation as well, huh?
Yes, it was the gist of it. He gets it, he embraces it, and I believe he's doing it the right way.
Now, if you were addressing a group of Sun Devil fans, which basically you are on this program, the folks that watch and listen, what would you say to them in terms of why fans should get involved in ASU's NIL efforts?
Yeah, a lot of people say, look, I don't want to do it. Like you said, the older generation, it's different. Well, the time is stacked now, and together we can win, and this is where we can have a tangible impact on Arizona State athletics. And everyone can make a difference. It's not just the big donors. And what's happening, it's not like these student athletes are just getting money. They're doing stuff in the community. We're building the community. We really are truly activating the Valley. And it's allowing the student athletes to do things like pay their rent. A lot of the things with their stipend don't cover their expenses. So we're able to help provide additional resources for them, but also I think they're getting additional leadership and they're integrating into the community. So I think it's an opportunity for all of us to get involved.
And the thing that struck me, you mentioned it a moment ago, but we should repeat, it's not just the big $1 million high money boosters that are involved. This is something that every fan can get involved with. Every dollar really counts, doesn't it?
Every single dollar has an impact. Like I said, 2,000 people giving $42 a month, that's $1 million a year. And I mean, you can go down 10, you can give more. I mean, there's just so much more we can do. And I know that we have a very passionate fan base, and it's trying to get everybody together to really help build and take our program to where it needs to go.
So anyone who's listening or watching, if they want to get involved, what's the best way for them to go about doing it?
They can go to our website, which is sunangels.org, and they can make a monthly donation, a one-time donation. You're going to be hearing from our executive director, Brittany Willett, so she can give you a lot more details on that. But contact us, go to the website. We need each and every one of you. We can do this, and I know we're going to get us back to where we know we can be, and we can lead the Big 12.
There you go. Well, Chris, I just want to thank you. You and your husband, Chuck, have been tremendous. They're good friends, and all you've done and all you continue to do for Arizona State athletics, and thanks for joining us on the show this week.
Thanks for having me, and we're just getting started. We're all in. We're going to do this.
There you go. That's Chris Michaels. She is the president of the Sun Devil Club Executive Board, and she's been our guest on this segment of Sun Devil Extra. There is a group in place now, the Sun Angel Collective, consisting of supporters of Arizona State University athletics who've banded together to help Sun Devil athletes maximize their NIL opportunities. And coming up, you will meet the executive director of the Sun Angel Collective as Brittany Willett will join us. But first, these messages. This is Sun Devil Extra coming your way from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network.